Thank you for inviting Team 4 to present our recommendations to recruit and retain workers. I'm Jessie, and my colleagues Matthew, Alan, and Elton will explain our recommendations in more depth. The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed the Great Resignation for what it really is, the search for the modern American dream. According to Soul and Others 2022, between April and September 2021, more than 24 million workers resigned. These resignations represent a shift in power from the employer to the employee, which has created a meaningful worker collective bargaining negotiation position for better working conditions, SHRM 2022. Now, in the first quarter of 2022, businesses find themselves struggling to attract and keep talent due to a lack of labor force participation and unemployment, creating nearly 12 million job openings in Winkenhoff 2022. Therefore, the Great Resignation is not only about burned out workers and record numbers of employees leaving their jobs, but it also is an opportunity to review worker reallocation and means for worker retention. So in this presentation, we will focus on 3 factors contributing to these record-setting resignations: work-life balance, employee engagement, and career mobility. First up is my colleague Matthew to explain employee engagement.
Thank you, Jesse. Well, who here has left a job in the last few years? Can any of you think of things that might have helped convince you to stay at that job? I'm sure many of you would think of a bigger paycheck, but let's think outside the box here for a few seconds. Our team believes there are several approaches that companies should consider when analyzing how to find, engage, and retain quality employees. First, a company needs to understand what attracts new talent within their industry. Jettison and Boudreau, 2022, suggests that companies should avoid just looking to fill a seat. If a company is having a hard time filling a position, it would benefit from reframing the role to be more attractive and provide more value to their organization. Think about every job you've quit, especially the first few. Did you feel that you really contributed and brought value to those organizations? Now think about the company you're with now. Why did you choose that one? Second, how does a company engage and keep those talented employees? 3 things they can do are to make sure people feel their efforts are meaningful, that their work will be rewarded, and that they will be rewarded for their actions. Garvin and Roberto, 2005. One very meaningful thing to many people at the company that I work for is the work that we do with United Way and Habitat for Humanity. Our company gives us 3 paid volunteer days a year to contribute to these organizations. Employee-led programs like partnering with local charities are a great example of how a company can allow employees to engage with their community in which they work and the company that they work for. Third, what can you learn from employees who leave? It's important that we learn from our losses. I asked you earlier about the last time you left a job. Think for a second about what that process was like. Who did you talk to? Did you do an exit interview? They tend to be informal and lack substantial feedback. Instead, organizations should look to understand why people leave by interviewing their peers. Klotz, Bellino, 2019. It's hard to argue that people who are still at the company have more interest in providing valuable feedback than someone halfway out the door. Now I'm going to pass things over to Elton, who's going to discuss our next recommendation.
Thanks, Matt. Employers need to prove employee promotions, development, and retention are a priority. While employers claim internal promotion and employee development are a priority, just 43.2% of workers believe internal opportunities for advancement exist. Scodolero 2022. Career mobility significantly impacts job retention, with 90% of millennials willing to maintain their current position for 10 years if an organization provides a path for advancement. Scodolero 2022. According to Sol et al. 2022, predictable schedules and lateral career movement are 12 times more effective at predicting job retention. Leaders must engage their employees and build relationships to understand their career goals and create development plans. Over are the days when simply receiving a paycheck was all the satisfaction an employee needed. According to Pew Research Center 2022, 63% of workers feel personal fulfillment and the chance to advance within an organization have become significant motivators when deciding which organization to join. Workers need to feel they are working toward becoming more and accomplishing something meaningful in their personal and professional lives. Research performed by SHRM 2022 finds that 79% of workers who quit do so because they feel unappreciated and undervalued at work. As companies begin to provide more significant incentives to increase employee retention and attract new talent, both are starting to grow together as a single entity toward a brighter future. Many workers feel personal and professional growth outweigh any benefits a company can offer, with only 1 in 10 saying they would stay with an organization if they increase the benefits package. Greenwald Research 2022. As organizations continue to realize the historical employer-employee paradigm has shifted, they will increase the level of prioritization placed on career mobility and development. Internal promotion and providing training and educational opportunities have replaced the quest for higher salaries and stock options. Workers want to know their future includes the options to better their existing positions because no one wants to work in a job they know is a dead end. Everyone needs a reason to get up in the morning, and knowing you are one day closer to your goals motivates people to push harder and go further than they ever have before. I'm now going to hand things off to my teammate Alan.
I'm excited to be here to talk to you about the importance of promoting work-life balance. The Great Resignation sent a message to organizational leaders that workers are no longer willing to sacrifice their quality of life for a job. According to Moss 2021, employee well-being now outweighs compensation in the battle of recruiting and retention. Organizations looking to attract and retain talent must prioritize work-life balance. Well, how do you do that? First, invest time and resources into exploring remote job opportunities. Remote or hybrid jobs increased in popularity during the Great Resignation. Tessima et al. 2022 provides two critical statistics that validate the significance of exploring remote opportunities. First, 70% of workers are looking for flexible remote opportunities, and 30% of remote workers would rather quit than go back to the office. Keep and attract talent by looking for creative ways to create remote and hybrid job roles. Next, provide your employees with predictable work schedules. Sol et al. 2022 tells us why predictable schedules are important. Predictable schedules forecast retention 6 times better than a flexible schedule. And predictable schedules reduce the stress for employees with children by 15%. Give employees the stability that comes with predictable schedules and increase retention. Did you know that Greenwood and Anaj 2021 reported that the number of employees citing mental health as a factor in their resignation in 2021 increased by 50%? In that same year, 64% of employees indicated they would forego a promotion opportunity if it meant favoring mental health preservation. Lawler-McHugh et al. 2021. The Great Resignation has increased mental health awareness and highlighted the importance of supporting mental health in your attempts to promote work-life balance. So what do you need to do? Introduce mental health initiatives. According to a study conducted by Greenwood and Anaj 2021, employers that support mental health with initiatives such as regular wellness surveys, mental health policies, meeting free days, and mental health days produce employees with a higher probability of staying with the company. Sheether and Slattery 2021 point out that organizations must invest in mental health initiatives such as training about handling stress and self-care. A study by Georgie et al. 2020 indicated that the availability of stress management tools such as meditation apps positively correlate with employees' well-being and performance. Potential employees want to know that your organization is invested in their well-being and that you understand the importance of mental health awareness. With that said, I appreciate your time and attention. Now back to you, Jesse, to wrap things up.
Our final points are that any new initiatives need to be employee-led, while also recognizing current accomplishments. Workers are looking for reasons to stay at their current place of employment. So all organizations, including yours, need to provide opportunities for lateral career movement. Workers want to do meaningful work and feel appreciated for doing it. So organizations such as yours should also become more flexible with remote working arrangements and more predictable with scheduling. Along with these efforts, we encourage you to support mental health initiatives that promote wellness. All of these points contribute to a successful modern workforce. Thank you so much for listening to our proposal and for your part in contributing to the American dream.